I've been to properties where people have broken boilers that they can't afford to replace or repair. I've been in other properties where they're so poorly insulated, the cost of heating it is astronomical, and so people are sitting with coats on and sometimes having to decide whether they're going to eat a meal or put the heating on that night. So doing anything you can to help people like that is deeply rewarding. It's really gratifying, especially when you go visiting them afterwards, and you can see what it's like, you can feel what it's like as soon as you walk through the door. The biggest misconceptions I think that people have tend to be based on what's feasible and what isn't feasible.
Before I had the energy advice, I was quite clear I didn't want to do things like solar panels or have any exterior cladding and so on, but now I'm aware that there are other things I can do which are less obtrusive, then I'm quite happy to go ahead.
This is an area where stone-built properties really predominate. It poses particular challenges, and it's quite expensive to do, which is why a lot of properties still haven't been touched.
You know, we're finding that very few people actually do qualify for these grants, and the ones who are interested, what's been frustrating for us is, yeah, on paper they look like they qualify for grants, but when the retrofit installer goes round, they don't. So that's quite frustrating. We're very careful what we say to people in that you may qualify for this grant, because our experience tells us that once the installer goes in and says, oh, your roof's not right, or you've already got a bit of insulation here, or rooming roof's too expensive, and all these kinds of things, then you know it gets a bit disheartening for people and for us sometimes.
One of the other issues we have, as well as educating people about what can be done and what is feasible, is down to the funding streams that are available, because there is funding out there, but there are so many different potential routes a customer can go down. People simply get lost and give up on the process, which is why we're here to help and direct them to the best sources of funding where they exist.
It's not really very smart, I think, of the government to put these schemes out there and then restrict the people who are going to get them. I think it should be really pushed that everybody should have equal access to them.
And one of the things that would improve what we were able to do massively going forward is if the government grant and financial support was improved to make it simpler and more streamlined.
The bottom line for me was that they said no promises. So don't build your hopes up. You know, you've got to wait and see if it does happen. It's not necessarily a guarantee that everybody's going to get everything they think they qualify for.
They're not just a number on a spreadsheet, there's a whole story behind what's going on with them. And I was talking to a woman last week who we've helped. She's got heating now for the first time in 8 years. That's, you know, she's just so grateful for what we've done. I remember one of our energy advisors, Joe, got a text message off someone she'd helped saying, I've got heating, I'm going to go and have a hot bath. You know, and that's just something that everybody else takes for granted, isn't it? But that to her, it was massive because she'd not been able to, she'd had no heating or hot water.
As part of this project, we helped develop an app that we call Fair and Warmth. This started off as a sort of energy advice platform, so people could put in their household information, just a tiny bit of information like your postcode. It would pull lots of data and try and give you a bit of a recommendation on what you could do next and any grants you're eligible for. So this was a system that we created. It kind of helped with that early engagement, so people could get that very specific information about their home, and then it would provide some advice.
The way John's designed the app for the reporting purposes matches perfectly with the KPIs for the report, so that means it just makes life so much simpler. So there's this whole blended approach to giving advice. It helps the advisor because it's they'll have it on the tablet. It's a focal point that they can be looking at with the customer. Everything in one place. It's all very streamlined now and it's very straightforward and user friendly. So they've got all the information in one place. So it's a good interaction tool. It's a good engagement tool. One of our biggest learnings is you've got to have trusted relationships with the people you're trying to help. They've got to trust you.